As a society, we catastrophize mistakes. With the fear of becoming a community laughingstock, people often follow the path most trodden and let other people take those steps out into the unknown and then follow safely behind when they know that there is a path there for them. But the truth is that nobody of any note has made success from following that path. They've had to step away and step somewhere else to make their goals a reality. And now, in the world of social media, all we see is other people's highlights of their life, and we never get to see the struggles and the failures that come along the way. All we're doing nowadays is playing social status games, trying to reach the most people and get them to believe that we are a success in every day of our lives. I've battled with making mistakes my whole life, and most of my time spent around other people, I've really avoided making mistakes because there couldn't be a less than perfect Chris out there in the world. But when I look back now, almost all of the success that I have in career, in friendships, or in the hobbies that I have, they've come because of mistakes. At work, I spend a lot of my time using a rental database that is very specific to our industry. Because there aren't that many companies that use it, there's not really much documentation. There's an out-of-date manual and a community forum which is less than ideal and not that well served, which means that any new features that come about you have to almost discover for yourself or see in the change notes and then go and find them within the piece of software. I was very fortunate in the early days of using that software in that the role that I was playing in the company meant that 40 hours a week wasn't completely filled up. I had a couple of hours here and there that I could use to my own volition. And I used that time to explore the software. I would click on pages that other people had never been in our company, and I would try and make things work or see what happens if I do it this way rather than the way that we've always done it. And now I sit within the company as the guru of that piece of software. And all it is because I've had the chance and the opportunity to go and explore. I've made mistakes and now I'm all the better for it because I know what works and what doesn't work. And when someone says to me, I need to do this, I know exactly where to put them straight away. I'm now one of the most active people on that community forum that I spoke about, which means that other companies are using my knowledge to better themselves as well, all of which brings people together. You know, now I know if I go onto the forums that people are more likely to come back to me with help because I've helped them in the past. The reality of all of this success, if that's what you want to call it, comes from the fact that when I approach a colleague with a new feature, I've already tried it. I've already made the mistakes. I know what does work, what doesn't work, and how to work around certain bugs that are still there, which means that they don't have to make the mistakes. And okay, they weren't public mistakes. They were things that I was doing that no one else had to see, but I made the mistakes. In the football team I used to play in, I gave my all each week, but that didn't mean that every game was perfect. I made mistakes, and playing as a defender in a Sunday League team, it quite often meant that if I made a mistake, it resulted in a goal for the opposition. But it was in those moments that I felt most part of the team. It was great if the game went really well and I occasionally got man of the match, and that was fantastic. But when you make a mistake and your teammates pick you up and they say, you know, it doesn't matter, let's go again, we can do this, that means more. That means more than any of the success that I had, any of the man of the matches, because I felt a part of something. I felt part of the team. Knowing they had my back, despite my mistakes, made it easier to turn up week after week, game after game, and give my all. It's important to find this for yourself. Find your own team. It might not be in sport, it might be in your company, it might be colleagues, it might be friends. Find people who hold space for you so you can make mistakes, be honest with them, and use the mistakes to better yourself. I like to think of mistakes now like I do a video game. If you approach a boss level in a video game, it's quite often that you won't pass it the first time. You'll go in, you'll find what the weaknesses are of the boss, you'll find what strengths you have as a character and how you can use that to overcome the boss level. But this means that the boss level got failed 2 or 3 times on the way to finding the steps to success. In a video game where we're doing it on our own, it's very easy to do that. In life where we're doing it out in public and we fear the criticism of other people, it's a lot harder. Ultimately, you're never going to be great at something the first time that you do it. Sure, you might have some natural skill. For example, when I started playing golf, I'd previously played cricket, and so the skills kind of aligned together and meant that I wasn't a complete beginner and I knew how to do the movement path. I still wasn't great at golf though. I still had a lot to learn. And it's only by going week after week, trying again and again, that I did get better. And okay, you can read books, you can watch YouTube videos to find out how to do things, but it's not until you do it yourself that you realise what the shortcomings are of your own skill level to be able to then improve over time. In the past few weeks and months, I've been actively reminding myself of this. Every time I do something and it's really difficult and it's the first time that I've done it and I make a mistake, I'm bringing myself some kindness. I'm allowing myself to think, if I make the mistake now, in the future I'll be better. I'll be better for this experience. The more mistakes I make now, the less I'll make in the future. I can use that experience to grow, to better myself, and hopefully next time it will be slightly easier. This has made a massive difference to the way that I talk to myself if I do make mistakes, and it's definitely something that I would try to implement for yourself. The vast majority of other people's judgments about your mistakes come from one of 2 places. Either they believe that they would never make the same mistake as you, or they would never put themselves in the position to make the mistake in the first place. We only know if the first part is true if they try it for themselves, and 9 times out of 10 they won't have done. And in relation to the second point, if the potential upside is aligned with your goals and your dreams, and you deem it a worthwhile effort, why wouldn't you put yourself in the position to make the mistake? Because the upside, in case you don't make the mistake, is far greater than the downside of making the mistake. Mark Manson says that you shouldn't make other people's insecurities your ceiling. Essentially, just because someone else isn't willing to do the thing because they're not confident enough, it doesn't mean that you should also hold yourself to the same level. Push yourself out of your comfort zone, be prepared to make mistakes, but also be prepared to succeed. You might just surprise yourself. See other people's criticisms, other people's judgment of your mistakes as fuel to improve and go again another day. Mr. Ballin recently appeared on the Diary of the CEO with Stephen Bartlett, and he said that becoming a stronger, better version of yourself is taking account of your own mistakes and using it to grow and move on to a better version of yourself. So start doing things in public. I've started this YouTube channel and I'm going to make mistakes along the way. The videos might not be as great as they could be if you were watching someone with millions of subscribers. I'm doing it anyway. I go to the gym and there are people that have been in there for 10 years plus and they seem to have everything nailed down. That doesn't stop me from making my efforts. The best thing you can do is do the thing, review the game tape and go again, knowing more than you did last time. But you have to iterate each time. You have to put the rep in order to get further. Take this as your permission to try something new this week. Take this as your opportunity to make mistakes and be okay with it. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll see you in the next video.